Hello, my name is Nicole, and today I'm taking some time out to discuss some information dealing with none other than home-based businesses, more specifically the multi-level marketing type of business. And yes, MLM is still very much alive and well, and those of you all who have been approached by family members, friends, acquaintances, or anyone else that believes that you need extra money, please do take heed to this message. I would like for you to take the time out to go to a website called www.consumer.ftc.gov. On that site, there is an article that gets into multi-level marketing and what would be considered a legitimate multi-level marketing business. Now, legitimate does not mean that you're going to make money. Let me repeat that. Legitimate does not mean that you're going to make money. There are plenty of businesses in our world that are legitimate, but people are just not making money. So the point of even joining any business is to do what? Make money. So when you go over to the site, you're going to put in multi-level marketing in the search box, and then you will see the article that I am referencing. And the title is Multi-Level Marketing. This is under the consumer information category. And I would like for you to take the time to read the different headers as well as the information underneath. But I will be focusing on one particular header that is down near the bottom, and that one is called Ask Questions. Okay? Ask questions. And I believe that this will help those of you all who are the type that are on the fence about different businesses. You see the gleam in someone's eyes. They're so happy. They just want you to be a part of it because, well, they're doing so well. Well, it's time to ask questions. The first question, according to the consumerftc.gov site, is what are your annual sales of the product? Well, I've only been in it for a little bit. Well, guess what? You might want to hold off connecting with that relative or friend in that business if they cannot produce anything that they've done annually. You need a good litmus test. You need to find out what exactly is going on with the business, and if they have no paper to back up all of these wonderful claims that they've heard from their upline, from their downline, and some things that they make up even from their you-know-what behind, there's a problem. Okay? There's a problem. You want to prove that this is a business that makes money. Forget about legitimate. Does it make money? So what are your annual sales of the product? The next question, how much product did you sell to distributors? Okay, how much product is this person portion out every week, every day? What percentage of your sales were made to distributors? Okay, and then of course the next question, what were your expenses? Because it does cost money to make money. What were your expenses last year, including money you spent on training and buying products? Well, if the person hasn't been in the business that long, there's no way that they can answer that question. If anything, they're going to put you in touch with someone who has the experience to be able to answer these questions for you. But once again, just because that person is able to answer the questions doesn't necessarily mean that, one, the information they're giving you is honest, and two, you haven't seen anything, so you don't know whether or not they are in fact telling the truth. Now, there are those, of course, that will come up with false documents. I've come across people who have done this. So just because someone gives you a piece of paper doesn't necessarily mean that they are telling the truth with that piece of paper. The next question, how much money did you make last year? That is your income and bonuses less your expenses. So I'm looking at your expenses. I'm looking at how much you made, and 9 times out of 10, for a lot of people, they're not making even meeting how much money they've put out as far as profits go. It's unfortunate, but it's the truth. The next question, how much time did you spend last year on the business? Okay. And if they're telling you, well, I have my own, schedule and I can do this and I can do that. Okay. Well, how much free time are you having for yourself? If the whole purpose of getting involved with the business is to have more time with the family, I want to know how much time are you really spending with your family versus how much time you're running around, going to this meeting and that meeting. Okay. How much time are you spending taking care of family affairs? If you're spending so much time calling, recruiting, walking around, going here and there, every free opportunity you have, you're talking about your business, then I'm sorry, your time is not your own. Your time is governed by other people in your upline. The next question, how long have you been in the business? Once again, a person who hasn't been in the business that long, they're not going to be able to answer these questions. That's why they're going to get this one and that one in the group and everybody else to convince you that it is good. And remember, a lot of folks have side jobs or primary jobs. So yes, they can afford to take a cut of their money and place it into the business. But if you don't have that additional income coming from somewhere, then no, you're not going to do as well as others because you have no money to seriously invest. And I will tell you that those that have done okay, not necessarily wonderful or great, they have literally put hundreds of dollars a week into the business. A week. Okay. There are some people that already have access to a whole lot of people. So of course the business is going to be easier for them to work because they're always in contact with people. Now, whether these people are actually buying product or actually getting more people into the business, well, there's no way for you to know that unless, of course, you are one of those individuals and you know other people that they've recruited and you have seen for yourself how much money has come out of their business, not how much money is coming out of their job. You see, because some people will use their job wages and the little bit of money that they get from an MLM and then put it together and make you believe that they made all of that money from that MLM business, and that's not the truth. And the next question is, how many people have you recruited? How many people have you recruited? Some people will exaggerate and say that they recruited all of these individuals. Well, let's define what recruited means. That means somebody who's actually joined the business, somebody who's actually doing something in the business. I can tell you about it, but that doesn't mean that you're willing to sign up for it. Okay? So you wouldn't count as a recruit. You didn't sign up. Next question, what percentage of the money you've made, income and bonus, less your expenses, came from recruiting other distributors and selling them inventory or other items to get started? There's a lot of folks that they're going to go for where they're going to make the most money, and that is trying to get the representatives, distributors, whatever you want to call them, into the business. And then, okay, we can talk about product later. But that's where things get really shady, and you can run the risk of being sued because you're focusing so much on getting the people in and not necessarily the products. And this site does get into that. So you need to know how the plan works. You don't need to just know about the money, but how does the plan work? Okay. And of course, they're going to dangle a carrot in front of you. Okay, you're the rabbit and they're going to dangle that carrot, and that carrot is going to be all of the money talk. And the reality is that a lot of folks just don't want to work hard at anything. They really don't. And these recruiters, they know this. So they've got to come up with something that's going to make it look like it's really simple, it's really easy, and don't you worry about it. Because we've got you, we're going to help you, and we're going to do this and that. And some will give you a little bit of money to make you feel good about the business. But then eventually what's going to happen is they're going to fade away, and they're going to want to know if you're doing all that you can to make that business a success. And if you're not, well, you're going to be left hanging after you done spent all your money trying to make it work. Meanwhile, they've got their money and you've got nothing. So in this same article at the bottom, it says it's important to get a complete picture of how the plan works, not just how much money distributors make, but also how much time and money they spend on the plan. And if you have a family and you already know you've got relationship issues, you've got trouble parenting your child, you can't afford to be taking all of your free time using it to build up someone else's wealth while hoping that you get a little bit back. The focus would make sense to be with the family or on the family and not on your pocket. But some people don't catch that, and they don't catch the fact that you can also get involved with various businesses as a stock owner. You know, you can invest in businesses in that way. You don't necessarily have to be at the bottom of the barrel, but people don't think about that. I would say go on these different websites and find out what the stock is, you know, the stock symbol is for that particular company, and request a prospectus so that you can follow whether or not this company is in fact making any real money. And I would also suggest that you go to different websites that post recent lawsuits on these different businesses and find out what people are saying. And a lot of times you'll find a pattern in what these individuals are saying about a particular business. And when you see that pattern, you know, it would make sense to distance yourself so that you don't possibly face a lawsuit later on because of your false claims that you make, or because you are regurgitating what you heard or what you read, because that is grounds for a lawsuit. If you should exaggerate, if you should lie, if you should say that this person and that one made money, a person with a good attorney, and they're already upset that they lost a lot of money, will not hesitate to sue you. Okay? And I'm speaking to those who are involved in these businesses. Okay, let's go back. So you're also going to check how much time and money they spend on the plan, how long it takes before they're earning money, right? Oh, well, you can make money within 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Yeah, but are they telling you how much? I remember someone said, oh, you could have the potential of making, thousands of dollars. And I found out that I was lucky to get $25 within a certain period of time. Okay. Oh, well, maybe you didn't do this or maybe you didn't do that. How about you all didn't explain that some folks just are not going to go for the top-notch plan? Well, you've got to convince them. Well, sometimes people are not going to be convinced, so they might go with the cheaper plan. And if they're going with the cheaper plan, you're not going to make as much money, you see. So let us read on. How long it takes before they're earning money. How big a downline is needed to make money. How big is the downline? Do you need like 30, 40 people within a certain time frame in order to claim your spot, in order to get the bigger money? Okay. How much time do you need? How big is this downline? How many people do you have to recruit in order to make what that person who was standing up on the stage bragging about made? Reading on, one sign of a pyramid scheme is if distributors sell more product to other distributors than to the public. Okay? Or if they make more money from recruiting than they do from selling. And I will tell you that just about every program over the years that I have gotten into, it usually boils down to that. There's more money made when you recruit than it is portion some products. Because like I said, people are going to go with that cheaper plan. They're going to go with the cheaper plan. You're not going to make as much money. So then it puts you in a position where you've got to push the more expensive plan. Then what the company doesn't tell you is that once that person cancels, it's a wrap. You're not making anything. But of course, you're supposed to use common sense, right? And know that if somebody is not going to be a part of a business anymore, then they're not going to make any money. But there are some businesses that will give you so much money, even though you're not active. But the people in the downline are active, and that is what keeps giving you money, filling your bank account up. That is if those people are active. And you've got to make plans for that money, because eventually people are going to catch hold that this business is not what they thought it was, and they're going to drop off like flies sooner or later. You spend all that time convincing them that it's a good plan, it's wonderful, it's great. They're on board for about a month or two. Your job is to go back out there and get some more people to keep those 30 or 40 or 50 or however many hundreds of folks you got under you. Which means your time, once again, is not your own. You're going to spend a lot of time doing everything else related to your business. And meanwhile, the wife or the husband or the mother or the father or whoever needs you, the children, are going to suffer behind it. And what happens too is there tends to be an upset in the family because people get tired of you. Trust you me. They get tired of you asking them to be a part of your business or to buy this product or to buy that. They get tired of feeling obligated to help you, and eventually they stop helping you. And if you are so gung-ho and so on fire for your business and you start getting critical, and some individuals that I've come across have been very critical, they did not want to receive any truth about their businesses. What happens is that you end up, instead of being the great guy or the great gal, you end up being nothing more than an annoying individual, someone who is brainwashed, someone who doesn't want to see the truth for what it is, a stubborn individual. And no one wants to hang out with people who all they do is talk about money and what product they bought and what works and what doesn't work, and that's all they know. They can't have a conversation about anything else, or they may start talking about something else and then lead you into a conversation about, once again, you going to join my business? You can lose friends and you can cause your relatives to become very distant very quickly when you act like that. And the sad part is that a lot of these people who are brainwashed, they don't see anything wrong with what they're doing. They are programmed to believe that they are helping you. Well, I'm just trying to help. Well, why don't you try to help by not talking about your business so much? Why don't you try to help by breaking off some of that money that you're supposedly making and helping people out with it? You see. So we've got to be careful getting involved or getting connected with these businesses out here that claim to be legitimate. Okay, so some of them are legitimate, but you're joining it because you want to make some serious money. And if you don't see that money coming in and you find yourself doing more marketing and advertising for these people and spending more of your own money that you're supposed to be saving for whatever it is, that you're supposed to be saving for or paying off bills, then you've got yourself an opportunity that is nothing more than causing much grief and much upset in your household. An opportunity that ends up being cursed rather than being blessed. You're being cursed, and you're bringing a curse into your household anytime you are not bettering it. Anytime you find yourself arguing, anytime you find yourself defending, anytime you start bad-mouthing people and saying how everybody is just over broke and that's why they can't do this and that's why they can't do that, and you got yourself this little rah-rah team behind you. But meanwhile, there's so many folks that are saying, yeah, as much as I want to believe this, the truth of the matter is that it is doing nothing more than causing problems. So I'm going to have to say bye-bye. Sometimes that's what we have to do, is just humble ourselves and recognize the fact that some things are just not going to work. $50 a month, $100 a month, $1,000 a month extra in income. But how much money did you spend to get that money? And when you add it up, that's when you find out that it's not worth your time. So I will be doing another audio about this sort of thing, because I do have those individuals that will inquire about home-based businesses and various things related to it, because they're curious and because they know that I have experience in this sort of thing. So today we're not going to spiritualize anything, because the next audio that I do on this is going to talk about how they use God and how they will claim that they have a blessing, or they're blessed, or they can bless you. We'll talk more about that in another audio. Well, thank you so much for listening, and as always, to God be the glory.